So I have two 100-watt solar panels and a pile of crusty old batteries. I cleaned off the middle shelf of my shed, and I think this is a very good spot to have a battery bank. So Morton Hjort, who runs the channel My Playhouse, you should check him out. He sent me these for Christmas a while back, and I definitely want to use these. I got an MPPT charge controller, and I really want to use that. And I also picked up some LED light strips, so I can put some LEDs in here and actually use the power. So I'm thinking we can put the solar panels on the roof, have the cable going through that little crack in the roof, and have a nice little charging setup down here. Maybe only one or two batteries for now, but we can always expand it later. And I'm going to try to make it look nicer this time and a better design, because up until now a lot of my solar panel designs, or not designs, but like my experimentation has mostly just been that, me playing around with solar panels, and so I haven't really cared too much about the wiring. But I'm wanting this to be more reliable, so I'm going to work with thicker wire and whatnot. Well, let's figure out how to do this. "12.23 volts, that is not filling with confidence, but it should take a charge. 12.46 volts, that's pretty good. For the wires going between the batteries, I'm going to use some old jumper cables that I got at a gas station for like $7, and that should be a big enough wire. So now the voltage difference between these two sides of the battery is 0.2 of a volt. If we go to the amp setting, we'll see how much current goes through it. 0.1 of an amp. Okay, so I don't have to worry about blowing it myself up by connecting these in parallel. Now theoretically we should be able to measure a voltage change across this by a very small amount, just due to there being some current. 0.3 millivolt difference. So we can take like whatever, we can act like this is a big shunt, and we can know that there's current going through there. Now I would like to have this mounted somewhere, so preferably in the back. I'm thinking I'll make a wooden L-shaped piece that'll come up. I'll set a battery on it to keep it down, and then I'll have it screwed into the back piece. Oh, that fits perfectly. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to extend this over to here, and then I want to have some future batteries down below this shelf, and so I can have these wires go down there. So I just checked, and this battery is a very similar voltage to the other two, so I'm not going to worry about like too much power going between the two. I honestly forgot that this LCD lights up. That's really cool. Let's see. 12 volts or... Yes. Okay. So now we just need to hook up the solar panel and we should be good. Wait a minute. I think it actually has memory, 33 watt hours. That was what I put in it last time. That's awesome. This thing has like internal memory. Sweet. Oh, look at that. It's already given 1 amp and 13 watts of power that's being put into it. So it might have enough power to run the LEDs, although let's try that tomorrow. So right now the panels are, well, they're facing flat, so they're definitely not in the right position to get all the sun's power, and the sun's going down, so all the forests are blocking the light. I'm pretty happy with that though. That is really good. So this is recharging well, and it's already at 12.49 volts, but 12.50 volts almost. Let's see. Yes, 12.50. Awesome. Now it's at 12.56 volts, and we have some LEDs. I'll steal the cable off this little Linksys router power supply. Awesome. So the sun has pretty much gone down and it's no longer charging, but we have plenty of power. Voltage is down to 12.17 volts. That's definitely pretty discharged. I could use a few more LED lights, especially over here, but I'm thinking I'll probably have a second strand going this way, and that should be really good. I'll let this charge up tomorrow, get some nice sunlight in the batteries, and, well, that's a weird way to say it. Get some nice sunlight on the solar panels and electricity in the batteries, and yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm really happy with how this system turned out. And I cleaned up my shed enough to have my electric bicycle in here, which should allow me to charge my bicycle off the solar panels, probably someday in the future whenever I have a nice inverter set up. But still, this is really exciting. I'm really happy with this. So it's the next day, and here it is through my thermal camera. You can see the wires are slightly warmer just because of the power going through them. But overall, the temperature isn't too bad. Now right there, the box is 22 degrees Celsius, and the batteries are 17 degrees Celsius. Charge controller actually still feels pretty cool, so that's good. Looks like this battery pack is slightly warmer than the other ones by like 1 or 2 degrees. So there might be some issues with this first big pack right here. I'm kind of disappointed how it only put 140 watt hours of power, or sorry, yeah, 140 or so watt hours of power into the batteries before it went to flow charging. So these batteries look like they were pretty bad. There's the first solar panel, and it's about 37 degrees Celsius, but unfortunately there's a tree in front of it, so like down here there's not as much light, and so it's about 27 degrees Celsius. The other one seems to be getting more light though, so that's cool. This is definitely not a good place to have solar panels. I'll be wanting to have these slanted, so I'll probably build a frame and bolt it to the roof someday in the future. But I kind of don't want to do it right now because I have to make it really good because we have tornadoes around here every so often. So I would hate for that to be ripped up and go flying. Plus, during the summer, that tree is going to have leaves on it. So it's going to be not be a great place for solar panels, but oh well. But I'm actually wanting to have 2 solar panel systems in the future. So I'll have my lead-acid batteries over there to run some lights outdoors and charge my e-bike and maybe do a couple other things. But then I also want to have a bunch of solar panels on my roof. And we might even be getting rid of this maple tree someday because it's a little too close to the house. So that should be a very good place to have solar panels. So it's gone 181 watt hours, and it's right now it's only putting in 7 watts of power because, well, these battery packs, these lead-acid batteries, most likely don't have that much carrying capacity, so after only 150 watt hours they're fully charged. But this might be one of those things where it just needs to sit on a charge for a couple days to regain some power. Although, I don't know. Lead-acid batteries suck. But I'm kind of curious to see if we can bring the voltage up a little bit, because right now it's at 13.04 volts. Before this charges too much, let's go ahead and check how much water is in each cell. These things are a pain in the ass sometimes. Fluid levels are good on all of these, but I'm going to take some and move it around. I disconnected the LED wire from this side of the battery and connected it into the load output of the MPPT controller so I can turn it on like that. And also, this can stop it from discharging the batteries too much. And it might even be able to measure how much power is being pulled, I'm not sure. Without a load, the battery was at 12.74 volts, but now it's going down to 12.48 volts after only like 30 seconds of running the LEDs. One thing I don't like about lead-acid batteries is the voltage just it dips down too low. But these are like, what, 8 years old, 4 years old, so whatever. Plus, I found these on the recycling skid, so they're not the greatest batteries. Thing is though, it's still a few days until Sunday when I upload this, so I can just let it sit for a little bit and we can just see if anything changes, like maybe these kind of revive or something like that. That's one thing I like about having a video that or a video series where I only upload on Sunday or something, because I don't have to rush it for any other day. It's like, well, I know that Sunday is so many days away, so I'll just wait until then. So it's been a whole day now, a nice sunny day, and the batteries seem to have been improving quite a bit actually. So the MPPT charge controller is still float charging or trickle charging it with about like 10 watts of power, but the voltage has gone up a good deal to where now it's easily at 13 or 14 volts. Well, it was at about 14.2 volts whenever I first came on here, but I kind of didn't like it that it was bubbling too much, so I lowered the float voltage, and I kind of played around with it so the voltage is still kind of coming back up. But I'm really happy with that, so obviously there has been some improvement with the voltage of the batteries, and most likely improvement with the internal resistance. So we turn on this inverter, turn on this old fan. So you can watch the wattage going up. It's already at 22 watts now. A little while back, when I first tried this, it was giving about 70 watts, so that's a good amount of power. So I feel like these batteries have actually improved quite a good deal. I mean, that shouldn't surprise me because in my old battery restoration videos, I would always just let them sit for 2 days with a trickle charge, and that would mostly revive them. So maybe after only a few more days, they should get a little bit better. So this battery is actually at 11.88 volts, so it's pretty far gone, but I think it should be able to be revived. So there should be like a 3-volt difference between these two. Oh yeah, this sure makes a spark. Yeah, seems like it'll be fine. So I'm pretty happy with that. The voltage is slowly coming back up, but we don't have that many more hours of sunlight today. Tomorrow should be a good day for letting these batteries figure themselves out, but it might take like a whole week to do that. I'm not really sure. It's funny, I'm kind of forgetting a lot of stuff about lead-acid batteries because I'm kind of sick and tired of them. But you know what? I might see about just going and making friends at one of the local auto shops and seeing about swapping out more batteries, because I could get free batteries. That would be interesting, I guess. Because a lot of these are pretty old, so I bet if I go and swap these out for other ones on the recycling skid that aren't from like 2009, then I might be able to have more power. I'm not sure though. I feel like that's pretty much it for now. I mean, there's not much else to really talk about until I have this thing kind of figure itself out, and then we can maybe do other stuff by add the other 3 good batteries I have, if they're still good. And by that time, I would hope to also have my electric bicycle with the charging system all set up, so I can hook a charger onto this, so I can then start using this to charge my bicycle and also add some outdoor lighting and whatnot. So just all sorts of little improvements, but I'm really happy with what I have now. I was thinking about adding a fuse on every single battery, but it's just my shitty shed, so if something catches on fire, whatever. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a very energizing solar Sunday, and thank you very much for watching. See ya!